The former things have passed away, and all things are become new. Whereas I was blind, now I see. And not through a glass darkly, but face to face. Even in my flesh I have seen God. The hills have rolled away, and there is no more horizon, but the light of heaven makes all things plain. Long have I sought thee, O Jerusalem, but only now have my pilgrim's feet touched the soil of heaven. The waste places are no more, fertile lands are before me, the like of which I have never dreamed. O truly there is no night there. The glory of it shines as the noonday sun, and there is not need of light, for God is the light thereof. I sit down to rest in the shade of trees. I rest and find my peace in thee. Thy grace is peace, O Lord. In the world I was weary, in thee I have found rest. In the dense forest of woods I was lost, or in the dense forest of words I was lost. In the letter of truth was tiredness and fear, but in thy spirit only is shade and water and rest. How far have I wandered from thy spirit, O tender one and true? How far, how far? How deeply lost in the maze of words, word. But now am I returned. And in thy spirit shall I ever find my life, my peace, my strength. Thy spirit is the bread of life, finding which I shall never hunger. Thy spirit is the wellspring of water, drinking it I shall never thirst. As a weary wandered, I have sought thee, and now my weariness is gone. Thy spirit has formed a tent for me, and in its cool shade I linger, and peace fills my soul. Thy presence has filled me with peace. Thy love has placed before me a feast of spirits. Yea, thy spirit is my resting place, an oasis in the desert of the letter of truth. In thee will I hide from the noise of the word of argument. In thy consciousness find surcease from the noisiness of men's tongues. They divide thy garments of Lord of peace. They argue over thy word, and yea, until it becomes words and no word. As a beggar have I sought the new heaven and new earth, and thou hast made me heir of all. How shall I stand before thee but in silence? How shall I stand before thee but in silence? How shall I honor thee but in the meditation of my heart? Praise and thanksgiving thou seekest not, but the understanding heart thou receiveth. I will keep silent before thee. My soul and spirit and my silence shall by thy dwelling place. Thy spirit shall fill my meditation, and it shall make me It shall make me and preserve me whole. Thou tender one and true, I am home in thee. This was a beautiful poem by the great Joel Goldsmith, the great spiritual teacher, in the infinite way. I want you to reflect on some of the statements. He talks about the Word and the Spirit. We can get lost so much in the words, whether that be in Scripture, sacred Scriptures like the Bible and the Quran, whether that be in talks and speakings, whether that be in rapid lifestyle transformation or living free, or the word or the recipes, so to speak, for manifesting. And when we lose the Spirit and go into the Word, we become lost. This goes into trying to apply the processes. And today, ladies and gentlemen, I have been I took the day off. I just felt that I wanted to take a day of sort of like meditation, retreat, of personal spa. And I've been doing that, and I've been contemplating, and of course, plans have been coming up, and inspirations have been coming up. It's always behooves us to do that at least once a month or once every few months. Just take a day to be alone and take a day to meditate. And guys, this is the most powerful weapon in your arsenal. You know, Neville Goddard said the first principle in this whole work, and we can call it the work of knowing who you are. We can call it the work of manifesting. We can call it law of assumption. The first principle that you can always go back to is that biblical adage, be still and know that I am God. And I just wanted to guide you sort of into a moment of stillness. If you're watching this video, you can take it or you can pause it and use it when you have some more time, just to take a moment of stillness. Because it's in that stillness, guys, that all of your questions are going to be answered, that you're going to know the state of that which you seek, and you're going to embody automatically the state of that which you seek. And all of your mentality control, all of your trying to feel it real, all of your trying to feel good, that will be all unfolded as its own accord. Because you know that Imam al-Ghazali, who was a great Islamic mystic and scholar, talks about the fact that the body and even the soul of the human being is like a horse. And your spirit is the one who is basically caring for that, who's basically guiding that. So sometimes you have to actually see yourself as the spirit and not as the horse. You have to see yourself outside the horse, and therefore that horse will be able to do a lot more because you're seeing yourself not as the horse, but as the horseman. I hope you understand me just a little bit. One great spiritual teacher, great contemporary spiritual teacher said, and I do this challenge every few months, he said, live for a month as if you were God having a physical experience. Observe yourself in everything. Actually become the observer and start to observe your every movement very closely. Do this for a month, and of course when you go off you can always go back on, and your entire reality will change. You will know yourself as the one, and then any manifestation will be so easy, it will become of its own accord, because you will know yourself as the observer. Observe everything that you do. And a good way to practice that is just taking some time, taking a day to meditate and to become completely present. I just want to share some passages with you. I don't want to give a whole lot of my own interpretation. I just want to share some passages with you and then allow that to sort of simmer in your heart and in your mind so that you can start applying this actual greatest tool of manifesting, which trumps everything else, which if you drop everything else, it won't matter. And this is the be still and know that I am God. And so the first passages, of course, I read from Marcus Aurelius' Meditations, because he never fails. It is an eternal gospel of the perennial philosophy, as one French philosopher said. Just very quickly, he says, retire into thyself. The rational principle which rules has this nature, that it is content with itself when it does what is just, and so secures tranquility. He also says, it is not right to vex ourselves at things. It's not right for us to get angry or annoyed at things, for they care not about it. So don't focus on it. He also says, wipe out thy imaginations by often saying to thyself, now it is in my power to let no badness be in this soul, nor desire, nor any perturbation at all. And this is my interpretation. Sometimes we can just sit and be present and allow no feeling to have harbor in our soul. A great, I think it was Shri Ramana Maharshi who said, do not let your mind harbor any thought. In those moments of presence, in those moments of pure observing, you can just sit and not let either any desire or any vexation harbor in your thought, because it's all the same anyway, guys. It's limitation, and you must know yourself as the one, the unlimited. But looking at all things, I see what is their nature, and I use each according to their value, so I'm outside of them. Remember this power that thou hast from nature. He also says, and this goes into the present moment. The present moment is, and I'm saying this is my interjection. The present moment is the single most important aspect of living free and of manifestation. Because why? As Seth says, all of your power is in the present moment. So abide completely in the present moment as much as you can. Marcus says, do not disturb thyself by thinking of thy life. Do not disturb thyself rather by thinking of the whole of life. Let not thy thoughts at once embrace all the various troubles which thou mayest expect to befall thee. Don't try to worry about everything that's going to happen in your life, guys. But on every occasion, ask thyself, what is there in this which is intolerable and past bearing? For thou wilt be ashamed to confess. In the next place, remember that neither the future nor the past pains thee, but only the present. Guys, the only thing that can happen to you is in the present moment. Nothing can happen to you tomorrow. So why would you even send your thoughts there, unless you're enjoying it? But this is reduced to a very little if thou only circumscribest it, and chidest thy mind if it is unable to hold out even against this. So if your mind is unable even to tolerate the single very short present moment, then shame it, because it's not that's very weak. So what is the mode in which we can basically short circuit any of the limiting thoughts, any of the limiting conceptions, to make room for something new? Well, a really great book to read by the great William James is called The Varieties of the Religious Experience. And while I would not recommend every chapter for someone who's trying to utilize it for tools to use in his or her life, because a lot of it's very theoretical, I would recommend one or two great chapters, and that is called The Religion of Healthy Mindedness. And I'd recommend that you read and meditate on these chapters. I believe it's divided into 2 chapters. But I just want to read a part of this chapter talking about the modality of going into the silence. Of course, it's a very ancient modality. It's in every religion. It's contemplative meditation. It is purging the mind, so to speak, or having the mind purge itself of all of the material of the left brain for a period, so that that material of the right brain can come to the forefront, and then any questions can be answered, and basically every manifestation will come to you effortlessly when you practice this. It's going to be a powerful tool. But I just want to read this passage where William James is quoting other books, actually, other New Thought authors, I believe it's Dresser and others, about this modality of dropping into the stillness. So Dresser says, the value, the potency of ideals is the great practical truth on which New Thought most strongly insists. The development, namely, from within outward, from small to great. So all of this stuff comes from within. Consequently, one's thought should be centered on the ideal outcome, even though this trust be literally like a step in the dark. So all of these things that we're saying, they've been said for hundreds of years. This is from Dresser in the 1800s, I believe late 1800s. To attain the ability thus effectively to direct the mind, the New Thought advises the practice of concentration, what we could call contemplation, meditation, concentration, or in other words, the attainment of self-control. In our modality, the modality that we teach that's most prominent in Eckhart Tolle, is not necessarily to focus on a single focal point, but to do what Krishnamurti called choiceless awareness and just drop completely into the present moment of the now. And we're going to read these passages, guys, then we're going to do it. Because I want you to have experience in this modality, and I want you to be able to utilize it anytime you wish, at will, to be able to then generate these alpha states, and where creativity and all of the answers that you want and need will flow to you on the outer. So this is interiorism par excellence. So one is to learn to marshal the tendencies of the mind so that they may be held together as a unit by the chosen ideal. To this end, one should set apart times for silent meditation. We recommend first thing in the morning, about 15 to 20 minutes, and throughout the day you can spend as little or as much as you want. The time really doesn't matter. It's that you set apart the time to do this. To this end, one should set apart times for silent meditation by oneself, preferably in a room where the surroundings are favorable to spiritual thought. And eventually, when you get practiced in this, you won't need to do it in a specific place, and we'll show you here. In New Thought terms, this is called entering the silence. And we always invite people to enter the silence on this channel. Again, it's the most effective weapon, the most effective modality. The time will come when in the busy office or on the noisy street, you can enter into the silence by simply drawing the mantle of your own thoughts about you and realizing that there and everywhere the spirit of the infinite life, love, wisdom, peace, power, and plenty is guiding, keeping, protecting, leading you. Why would you need to go to a special place where everywhere that you stand is holy ground? Because as we know from interiorism, all is one. This is the spirit of continual prayer. The biblical scriptures talk about pray without ceasing. One of the most intuitive men we ever met had a desk at a city office where several other gentlemen were doing business constantly. This was like an accountant or someone at the stock market or something. Imagine this bustling atmosphere, right? And often talking loudly, they say. Entirely undisturbed by the many various sounds around him, this self-centered, faithful man would, in any moment of perplexity, meaning in any moment that he found confusing or he's trying to find an answer or something in business or in life, draw the curtains of privacy so completely around him. And you draw this curtain, guys, it's not a physical curtain. It is by presence. And of course, people like Trevor Blake and others talk about this aura of energy which you can draw around you. And that's a great and helpful technique too, but you can do it just by presence. He would draw the curtains of privacy so completely about him that he would be as fully enclosed in his own psychic aura and thereby as effectually removed from all distractions as though he were alone in some primeval wood. Taking his difficulty with him into the mystic silence in the form of a direct question to which he expected a certain answer, he would remain utterly passive until the reply came. And never once, through many years' experience, did he find himself disappointed or misled. So, any question he had, he would take with him into the silence, guys. And so, any question about manifesting that you have, you can take, whether it be a day, whether it be a few moments, you can take time off, get completely present, and pose your question. Let's try it. Let's do it, guys. I've been doing this today and I want to share it with you. So it takes just 2 minutes. First, just get completely present, guys. And this is not a hard thing to do. You can just look around the room. Just be completely present with every sensation in the room, every feeling, every smell, every sound. You can feel your inner body, all the sensations of your inner body, everything going on in your body, you can feel it as if you were observing it from above. Remember, you are the body, but at the same time, this body is an instrument to do your bidding, so you can observe it and feel it, and you can feel that inner body. You can even close your eyes if it helps you. Just keep feeling the sensations of the inner body. If any thought comes up, just go back to the sensations. Oftentimes, a lot of us are just living as disembodied somnambulants, basically, like just living here, and we're not feeling our body. Right now, let's get those feelings down into the body, guys. Let's get those feelings into the heart. Let's not always be in the brain. Let's get into the heart, guys. And the heart's where all the power is, by the way. You'll feel your breathing just normally and naturally just getting deeper. Now get a very specific question, guys. You're now present. You're now in alpha waves. Get a very specific question about something that you want, like, how can I make $10,000 more this year? How can I 10x my business? What business should I start? Pose that question. And then what I want you to do is I want you to close your eyes. I want you to see that question. And then I just want you to give it to the universe. And I want you to see that question floating off. And then say, I'm just expecting and awaiting the answer. And then just be still. Don't even think about it. Just be completely present. Now, some thoughts may come up that are related to that. Note those, and you'll know which thoughts to act on. Do this for as long as it takes, guys. Now, sometimes the answer will come in this meditation. Sometimes it'll come outside, but you'll just feel a gentle knowing. That gentle knowing is the answer. Then you can just go on about your day, go on about your life. It feels great, guys, and I hope you got something from this just very quick going into the silence. It's a beautiful practice. Make it not only a practice, incorporate it into your life. Take it throughout your day. Constantly feel your inner body, guys. The more you feel that, and the more in touch you are with that, the more awake you are from the game while playing in the game, and the more knowing you are of the oneness. And everything that you want is just going to flow into your life effortlessly. So guys, I am Javier with The Real Javier Novoa. Thanks for watching. If you find these videos of value, I would ask that you hit the subscribe button below. Subscribe to our channel. You'll get alerts to all the videos, and as well as you'll be helping us get the word out. Also, I am doing coaching calls. Those are really taking off. I will put my email in the description. Please email me if you'd like to do business together. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. With much love and appreciation, it's Javier. I'll see you soon. Have a great week. Ciao.